And if you're in business and you're struggling because your products and services aren't selling, maybe it's because you think it's all about you. Maybe it's because you have the mindset, do what you love. And maybe you need to shift your mindset to, it's all about them. Welcome to the Spinoso Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Spinoso. My experience and expertise is in scaling all types of medical businesses to 7, 8, and 9 figures. And I'm sharing my journey to having multiple 8-figure companies and someday, hopefully, enjoying a 9-figure exit. This isn't a podcast telling you you should do this. I'm just telling you how I did this, and I hope that helps you. I want to help you build your business, take ownership of your life, and become a better leader at home and at work. And guys, I'd love to connect with you, especially if you're a medical entrepreneur. I have free courses available to help you scale your medical business. Check those out at dralexspinoso.com/courses. That is dralexspinoso.com/courses. I also invite you to connect with me on Instagram at Dr. Alex Spinoso, LinkedIn at the same, and every other platform, YouTube, etc. I am always Dr. Alex Spinoso. Thanks for listening. So today I want to share my take on what is a very, very common advice in business. The advice is, do what you love, and you'll never have to work a day in your life. Well, it's shit advice. Now, before I explain why, I want you to know, on my honor, I am not trying to be the typical alpha male entrepreneur who is just trying to say the opposite of what everyone else is saying just so I could be controversial or just so I could be edgy. If you rolled your eyes when I said, do what you love is bad advice, I get it. We're all tired of people just giving the opposite take on stuff just to be different. You have a morning routine? Fuck your morning routine. You don't have a morning routine? Fuck you for not having a morning routine. Look, I know, I get it. I think that shit is so stupid that I've even done funny reels on it. But hear me out. When I say do what you love is a bad piece of advice, I don't mean bad to the core. I don't mean there's no element of truth in it. Because obviously, if you are miserable running the business that you run or being involved in the industry that you're involved in today, you're not going to succeed. You have to love or at least like and believe in what you're doing. You can't really perform well, at least not consistently, being involved with something that you absolutely hate. Plus, if I really felt that way, I'd be a complete hypocrite because there are a lot of things about being a medical entrepreneur that I absolutely love. I love it when people come into Genesis Lifestyle Medicine and we change their lives. I love it when they lose weight and get a new lease on life. I love it when they DM me and say, I have to thank you so much, or your staff is absolutely incredible. I love when men get their shit fixed and can have a better sex life with their wives. I do, in fact, love helping people. But the problem with everyone in the entrepreneur space constantly saying, do what you love, raises the same problem as when everyone in the personal development space is constantly saying, you do you. How many people who hear you do you use that as a license to be selfish, self-centered pricks? A lot. And the reality is, a ton of entrepreneurs take the do what you love mantra and completely turn it into a principle for self-centeredness that is going to absolutely kill your business. Now, let me say this. I believe in God. I believe in trying to be a good person. I don't always succeed, but I try. And the reality is, I'm not 100% sure of where I plant my flag spiritually. My wife, on the other hand, is a really good Christian. She's serious about it. And I go with her to a great church near where we live. Well, during one of the sermons, the pastor, Keith Kraft, mentioned a book that is apparently the highest selling nonfiction book of all time, aside from the Bible, of course. The book was written by a guy named Rick Warren, and it's called The Purpose-Driven Life. Apparently, a lot of people found value out of this book because, like I said, the sales have been massive and it's still growing strong several years after it was first published. What do you think are the very first words of a massively popular book titled The Purpose Driven Life? Well, you might be surprised. The first four words in the book are, "It's not about you." When it comes to finding purpose in life, Rick Warren's first piece of advice is, "It's not about you." And that book has helped literally millions of people. When it comes to success in business, it's not about you. It's not about doing what you love. Listen closely. It's about your client. It's about doing what your client loves. This seems like a subtle change in wording. However, it is a massive mental shift that changes everything about your business. In my business, one of the products we sell is penis pumps. I'm actually not kidding at all. It's not a sex toy. It's a legit device that actually helps men overcome erectile dysfunction. Now, I could love the idea of selling superhero themed penis pumps. We could sell one called The Thing or one called The Hulk or, maybe one called The Batarang or what most likely would be the highest selling pump, Giant Man, not Ant Man. I would love that because I love comic books and I think it would be absolutely hilarious to have a penis pump named the Hulk or Giant Man. But I have a sneaking suspicion my clients, except for the ones who like cosplay and going to Comic Con conventions, would think that was really freaking stupid. They wouldn't buy it. So you know what? I don't sell that shit. And if you're in business and you're struggling because your products and services aren't selling, maybe it's because you think it's all about you. Maybe it's because you have the mindset, do what you love. And maybe you need to shift your mindset to, it's all about them. It's all about what my client loves. You need to dig deep and ask questions that are absolutely essential to business. What does my client want? What does my client need? What does my client love? Back in the 70s and 80s, there were already quite a few computer companies in existence. Most of them had really, really quality products. Most of the computers could do really cool shit. Computer programmers loved them. Certain people in government and education loved them. The average man or woman on the street, they couldn't have cared less. For the average person, computers were confusing and intimidating. Then a guy came along who said, you know what? It's not about what I love, what computer programmers love, what technology-minded people love. It's about what the client loves. So that guy made sure his company focused on design and user experience. From the beginning, his company focused on creating products that were not just functional, but also beautiful and easy to use. His company computer was one of the first computers designed for the average consumer, not just tech professionals. This focus on design and user experience became a hallmark of that company's products and has set them apart from competitors. Of course, that guy was Steve Jobs. And the company, Apple, is currently valued at $3.36 trillion. I'd love to own and run a company like that. How about you? It's not about you. It's about them. It's not what you love. It's what your client loves.